In the heart of ancient Alexandria, amidst towering shelves laden with papyrus scrolls, lived a man named Pantaenus. He was a teacher, a leader in the early Christian community, known for his deep knowledge of Scripture. But Pantaenus wasn't just a scholar. He had a secret. They are called the Lost Gospels because they were not included in the 27 books that make up the New Testament of the Bible. Did these texts simply reflect different theological perspectives? Or did they contain teachings that were deemed heretical and suppressed by early church authorities? Exploring the Lost Gospels can help us better understand the historical Jesus. Although many Christians believe that the 4 canonical Gospels are the only true and accurate accounts of Jesus' life, the Lost Gospels provide a different perspective. Many scholars question their authenticity, arguing that they were written much later than the canonical Gospels and may not accurately represent the teachings of Jesus or the beliefs of early Christians. However, despite these challenges, the Lost Gospels continue to captivate scholars and enthusiasts alike. If its teachings were accepted as canon, it could have fundamentally altered the course of Christianity. Can you picture a world where the sayings of Jesus took center stage, where parables and spiritual wisdom were elevated above traditional narratives? Picture a Christianity that grapples with the complexities of betrayal, where Judas's actions are viewed through a lens of understanding rather than condemnation. One theory suggests that these Gospels were intentionally suppressed by religious authorities who sought to maintain control over the growing Christian community. Imagine a world where the powers that be wanted to maintain control, and the Gospels that challenged their authority were silenced. It's a chilling thought that raises questions about the nature of power and the lengths to which those in power will go to maintain it. What if the traditional image of Judas as a villain was replaced by a more nuanced portrayal of a conflicted character? The result could be a richer, more inclusive theology that embraces a wider range of beliefs and practices. How does it impact our daily lives? These Gospels could transform our daily lives by offering new insights into spirituality, morality, and the search for meaning. If their teachings were widely accepted, they could inspire a more compassionate, tolerant, and enlightened society. It's a vision that challenges us to look beyond traditional boundaries and embrace the transformative power of faith. Could usher in a new era of interfaith dialogue, where different religious traditions come together to explore shared beliefs and values. Whether we view them as historical artifacts, theological treasures, or windows into the human experience, these Gospels remind us of the enduring power of faith and the boundless mysteries of the universe. They invite us to embark on a journey of discovery, both inward and outward, as we seek to understand the deeper truths that shape our existence. The inclusion of the Gospel of Judas could have led to a more compassionate and understanding form of Christianity, one that embraces forgiveness and second chances. What impact could they have on our understanding of faith and spirituality if rediscovered today? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights might just shed new light on these enigmatic texts. What if the mystical and the metaphysical became the cornerstone of faith? The implications are profound. Christianity, shaped by the Gospel of Thomas, might have diverged significantly from the path it ultimately took. Think about the chaos of trying to preserve ancient texts without a proper system in place. In the absence of organization, valuable works could have been misplaced or destroyed accidentally. It's a sobering thought that reminds us of the fragility of history and the importance of safeguarding our cultural heritage. The very essence of salvation, the nature of discipleship, and the path to enlightenment could have been redefined. They become symbols of hidden truths and forbidden knowledge, sparking our curiosity and driving our desire to uncover what might have been lost. Their mysterious nature and the potential for uncovering hidden truths keep alive the debate about what might have been lost in the sands of time. What if the Lost Gospels held the key to bridging this divide? In a world that often pits science and spirituality as opposing forces, these Lost Gospels could offer a unifying perspective. If these texts were integrated into our collective consciousness, it might pave the way for a more harmonious relationship between science and faith. Can you imagine a Mary-centric Christianity, where the mother of Jesus takes on a central role as a spiritual leader and teacher? How would this reshape the traditional patriarchal structure of the Church? The inclusion of the Gospel of Mary could have ushered in a new era of religious thought, where women's voices were more prominent and their roles were more expansive. The ripple effects would have been monumental. Some scholars argue that these texts offer valuable insights into the historical Jesus, separate from the theological interpretations found in the canonical Gospels. Imagine standing in an ancient library, surrounded by crumbling scrolls and dusty tomes. Suddenly your eyes fall upon a leather-bound book hidden away on a forgotten shelf. As you open it, you realize it contains a gospel, a story of Jesus unlike any you've heard before. What if these lost Gospels could rewrite history, offering a new perspective on the life and teachings of Christ? How would that change your understanding of faith and challenge conventional beliefs? By examining the teachings and parables attributed to Jesus in the lost Gospels, we can gain a more comprehensive understanding of his life and ministry. As of today, there are over 50 non-canonical Gospels written during the first 3 centuries. AD, it can also help us understand the development of early Christianity. The lost Gospels were written during a time when Christianity was still in its early stages and the faith community was grappling with various theological issues. By studying these texts, we can better understand the diverse beliefs and practices that existed within early Christianity and how they contributed to the formation of the dominant doctrines and practices of mainstream Christianity. Furthermore, exploring the lost Gospels allows us to examine the process through which the New Testament canon was formed. The decision to include or exclude certain books from the canon was not a straightforward one. It involved complex debates and discussions among early church leaders. By analyzing the criteria used to evaluate these texts and the arguments put forth by those who advocated for or against their inclusion, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the historical context of the development of the biblical canon. However, the actual number of unique texts might be smaller, as some of them are only fragments or were written by the same author. The exclusion of the lost Gospels from the official Bible raises questions about the role of religious authorities in shaping religious beliefs and practices. By examining the reasons given for excluding these texts and the potential consequences of their inclusion, we can engage in a critical dialogue about the nature of religious authority and its impact on our understanding of faith and history. Additionally, exploring the lost Gospels can help us appreciate the diversity of religious thought and experiences. It's important to recognize that the official Bible represents only one perspective within the broader spectrum of religious beliefs and practices. By engaging with the lost Gospels, we can broaden our understanding of the different ways in which people have interpreted and experienced their faith throughout history. Embracing this diversity of thought can foster greater empathy, understanding, and respect among people of different faiths and belief systems. The best known of the non-canonical Gospels are the Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Mary, and the Gospel of Judas. Despite being excluded from the official canon, these Gospels offer a fascinating glimpse into the diversity of early Christian thought and practice. They contain alternative accounts of Jesus' life, teachings, and even resurrection, challenging the traditional narrative presented in the canonical Gospels. He held in his hands a collection of Gospels that were different, that didn't fit into the narrative the church wanted to tell. These were the lost Gospels, texts that had been written by other early Christians, texts that offered different perspectives, different miracles, different teachings, texts that, if shared, could shake the very foundation of the faith. As the years passed, Penteus watched as the church grew, evolved, and made decisions that went against the very essence of what he believed. The burning question is why? Why would an early Christian like Penteus hide certain Gospels that could have changed the course of history? To understand this, we must delve deep into the world of early Christianity, a time when the faith was still taking shape, when the New Testament canon was not yet fixed. We must explore the concept of the lost Gospels, these mysterious texts that have captured the imagination of scholars and enthusiasts alike. And we must ask ourselves, what were these lost Gospels? And why were they lost? The so-called lost Gospels are a group of non-canonical Christian texts written in the first 3 centuries AD. What makes the lost Gospels particularly intriguing is the mystery surrounding their exclusion from the Bible. It's essential to approach these texts critically, recognizing their potential biases and the historical context in which they were written. It can also help us understand the role of religious authorities. While the lost Gospels offer intriguing possibilities, it's important to acknowledge the limitations of these texts. So let us delve into the depths of these forgotten scriptures and uncover the hidden truths they may hold. Let's start with the enigmatic Gospel of Thomas. Now consider the enigmatic Gospel of Mary. If this text had been included in the Bible, it could have introduced radical changes. And then there's the controversial Gospel of Judas. If Judas Iscariot's perspective had been incorporated into the biblical narrative, it could have shattered perceptions forever. But here's the crucial question. Why were these Gospels lost? The reasons are as intriguing as the texts themselves. Another theory proposes that these Gospels were simply lost due to the vastness of the early Christian library and the lack of a centralized system for preservation. Ultimately, the mystery surrounding the loss of these Gospels adds to their allure. Imagine a world where the boundaries between science and spirituality are blurred. These Gospels could revolutionize theology. Picture theologians re-examining established doctrines and incorporating the teachings found in the lost Gospels. Here's the conclusion. The lost Gospels challenge us to think differently, to question conventional beliefs, and to embrace the unknown. What do you think? Could these lost Gospels rewrite history? Do they offer a glimpse into a forgotten past? Or were they intentionally silenced?